Solitude 99. I am a Batman fan, and I'm a Canadian man. I do top 10 lists, tonight ketchup chips.
Hello everyone and welcome to another LaserDude 99 video. So today we are going to be looking at the top 10 comic book locations. These are the coolest, best, and most iconic places in all of the comic book worlds. So sit back and allow me to be your tour guide and take you on a tour of the most iconic locations in comic books.
Number 10.
When the Wayne's family left the Monarch's Theater after seeing The Mark of Zorro, they were shot on Park Row Avenue that became known as Crime Alley. This spot is literally the birth spot of the character of Batman, and the one where he revisits every year and leaves 2 roses in honor of his dead parents. Crime Alley has been a pivotal part of Batman's history, and it isn't just because this is where his parents were shot. It is also the first meeting place between Batman and Jason Todd, where Jason stole the tires off of the Batmobile. And it is the place where the final fight between Batman and Superman takes place in The Dark Knight Returns. It is the birthplace of Batman, and it's iconic enough to get the number 10 spot on my list.
Number 9.
Home to the Fantastic Four, the Baxter building has 2 major feels. On the one hand, you have this high-tech building that can analyze and scan and intrigue and do all this stuff, this high-tech stuff and inventions made by Reed Richards that just make the building feel like a technological wonder. But then it also feels like it's just a building, almost like an apartment. I mean, there's no big meeting room with a big table and a glowing globe around it where you say, okay, the villain is here. No, usually when they are talking about stuff, they're just hanging out in the living room. And so it has kind of this high-tech feel onto it at one side and also this casual feel on the other, and it's a weird mix. Why it is called the Baxter Building, I can't tell you. But it is a wonder and a great place for the Fantastic Four to hang out and save the world. Or worlds, depending.
Hey, watch it! Hurry! Will I get my hands on you? Like I said, Derby, you're the best. My favorite computer
Number 8.
Okay, now I know you could say that I'm cheating here because this one isn't really a location. It's just more of a flying aircraft carrier. But come on, guys, this thing is bigger than a small town. And if you think about it, it's probably one of the most pointless things in the Marvel world. I mean, if you just shoot one of its engines out, it probably wouldn't be able to fly and it would crash. I mean, you look at it and you wonder, what is the point of this? Why do you need this flying aircraft carrier? Now you might ask, well, if you're dissing it so much, why is it on your list? Well, the reason is that something so silly is taken so seriously that it just stands out, and is definitely one place that I would love to visit if I ever got to go to the Marvel Universe. And of course, it is the perfect headquarters for a guy like Nick Fury, who, like the Helicarrier, is larger than life. The Helicarrier, so impractical, but that just makes it even cooler.
What the hell is going on? Where's our air support? Get those forward guns going. Why aren't those rear batteries firing? Somebody get General Wilson on the horn!
Colonel Fury,
Doom, I'll have your head for this.
I have little time for your petty threats, Colonel. Surrender your ship now, or I shall destroy it.
Not on my watch.
Number 7.
This gets on my list mostly because how iconic it is. I mean, this metropolitan newspaper with the globe on top that always seems to fall off and Superman has to catch every now and then.
What's this? The Daily Planet globe is falling. Oh no! People will be crushed! Falling! It's gonna crush them by... it's gonna... Hopeless! Wait a minute. What is this? Oh my gosh! Superman has caught it and even give the little boy back his balloon. Wow! Oh my goodness! It looks like the Daily Planet globe is gonna fall! Oh no! Oh, there it goes! Oh my gosh! Look at it! It's gonna kill people! No one can catch us! Wait a minute! What is this? What do we have here, folks? Oh my gosh! It's Superman, but he can't possibly reach it in time, can he? Yes! Oh my gosh! What a catch in left field by Superman, who flies in right at the last moment to catch. Oh boy, what a catch! And it looks like Darkseid is grabbing the Daily Planet globe, but don't worry, Superman will catch it. Oh, there, he's still going. Oh, ouch. Oh, and whoa, watch out there. And, wow, that's kind of hurt. Yeah.
I guess the reason I really like the Daily Planet is it's just the place where Clark Kent, Lois Lane, Jimmy Olsen, and Editor-in-Chief Perry White hang out. Now, even though that it is just a newspaper, it feels larger than life. And whenever anyone draws a shot at Metropolis, 9 times out of 10, you're going to see the Daily Planet globe. The Daily Planet has gone through many different styles. In some comic books, it's the highest newspaper. In some comics, it's kind of low and down in the dirt and just trying to get back up to an iconic status. But no matter what, the Daily Planet globe, the image of it, is just an iconic comic book image that few can top. What more can I say? It's just that the Daily Planet is an iconic place that is in the heart of the home of the Man of Steel.
I'll take that. I'm sorry, Mr. Schwinn. Olsen, why am I paying you $40 a week when I should have you arrested for loitering? Go get Mr.
Kent.
A towel. Move, kid, move. Right, Chief.
Number 6. Yeah, I put the newspapers back to back, but oh well, it's my list, screw you. Now, even though the Daily Bugle doesn't have the iconic visual look like the Daily Planet, the Bugle has 2 things that place it just higher than the Daily Planet. One thing is, more stuff seems to happen there. On more than one occasion have I seen a supervillain attack the Daily Bugle, and it seems more involved in the stories. I mean, with the Daily Planet, a lot of times it just feels like it's just the place where Clark works and not much else happens there. And when you do try to get into the characters that work at the Daily Planet that aren't our main ones, it feels forced. But Peter kind of seems to have a love-hate relationship with the Daily Bugle. I mean, he loves working there. It's fun for him. It's great. But then he hates it because they're always putting him down. And he hates that every day he goes into work, he basically is there slandering his own superhero name with the use of the photos that he takes at the Bugle. I always wondered, why doesn't he just go to a different, newspaper that didn't slander his name all the time?
I resent that. Slander is spoken. In print, it's libel.
The second reason I like the Daily Bugle more than the Daily Planet, 3 words. J. Jonah Jameson.
Who is Spider-Man? He's a criminal, that's who he is. A vigilante. A public menace. What's he doing on my front page?
I mean, I have never seen a character that I both hate and love at the exact same time. I mean, you hate him because he's making life so stinking hard for Spider-Man for no particular reason. And then you love him because he's just so gosh darn funny.
Boss, your wife's on the line. She said she lost her checkbook.
Thanks for the good news.
Mr. Jameson, please, isn't there any of these shots you can use? I really need the money.
Miss Brandt,
Yes.
give me a violin.
I mean, he's just such a likable and hilarious character, and he's still, kind of cold-hearted in the inside. It's just such a weird mixture.
Could you pay me in advance?
You serious?
That just makes the Daily Bugle a place where anything can happen every day. But one thing is certain, Peter Parker's probably going to get fired at least twice every day.
He was a thief! A criminal! He stole my suit! He's a menace to the entire city! I want that wall-crawling arachnid prosecuted! I want him strung up by his web! I want Spider-Man!
Number 5. A headquarters in outer space. You can't get cooler than that. You really can't. I mean, seriously, that is just plain cool. I don't care if it's a satellite or if it's on the moon. The Watchtower is the Justice League headquarters, home to the world's greatest heroes. Yeah, I just love the Watchtower. I mean, it is just so cool. I mean, if you had a superhero team and you could put their headquarters anywhere you would want, where would you put it? Duh, outer space. I mean, where else would you want to go put it? Detroit? Alright. The reason that I love the Watchtower is it's just cool. It's plain cool. I mean, we all want to look up to our heroes, and you can't look much farther up than outer space. Plus, you got that Star Trek-like teleporter that can pick you up from anywhere. Awesome.
I don't know, Batman. This is pretty radical. You're absolutely sure it works?
Pretty sure.
Pretty sure? That isn't good enough.
Teleporter's online.
But I think the thing that really makes the Watchtower cool for me is just the simple fact that you have the world's greatest heroes in there. That's their headquarters. That's where all the greatest heroes sit. Well, in my opinion, the greatest. For Marvel fans, I guess it would be more the Avengers Mansion rather than the Watchtower. But anyway, let's just be honest. Just to go to the place where your favorite superheroes hang out. That's cool. For me, it's just when you can see a place that has a table surrounded by your favorite superheroes. That's just an amazing thing to see.
Glad you could make it.
Now, where am I exactly?
Among friends.
Number
Now, Superman's Fortress of Solitude is very interesting because if you think about it, it isn't really a headquarters. I mean, there are times where Superman uses the fortress to study things, but it is more of a museum on the history of Krypton and Earth and then a couple of other planets.
I promise you, I'll never forget.
I mean, for headquarters, it's usually where your team or you just get together and study and analyze crimes and stuff. But for Superman, he doesn't go to his fortress usually to do things to help him fight crime. The fortress is a retreat from the world, a place for Superman to learn and think, and to just be himself. It is a sanctuary away from all the troubles of the world that he has to face on a day-to-day basis. Not to say that there hasn't been some big fights in that place. I mean, like we have Mongol's time in the story written by Alan Moore, the man who has everything. We have also the story written by Alan Moore, Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow. You know, stories like that, we've had big fights in the fortress, but fighting isn't really what the fortress's appeal is. It is a place of peace and amazement. And it may be in the Arctic, but hey, that just shows that Superman has the best winter getaway ever.
Who am I?
Your name is Kal-El. You are the only survivor of the planet Krypton. Even though you've been raised as a human being, you are not one of them.
Number 3.
The X-Mansion is two things. On the one hand, you have this old mansion that invokes a feel of peace and history. Which is funny because it can't really be that old because, I mean, it has been destroyed so many times. I mean, it's hard to remember if you're an X-Men number 3 or 5. I mean, it has been destroyed in the comics, in the video games, in the animated series. In fact, the only medium that I haven't seen it destroyed in is the movies. No, they decided to destroy 3 major characters in an entire movie franchise instead. But then you have the sub-basement, which looks plain cool. I mean, it is all silver colors and it has the technology that would make James Bond blush. I mean, it has the danger room, the place where you can, well, you know, fight stuff and they attack you and stuff. And then you have Cerebro. And then of course you have the it is the place that houses the X-Jet or Blackbird, whatever you prefer. And then you gotta remember they have the X-Men themselves in there. I mean, it is a home that is also a headquarters. So you have the best of both worlds, more than the Baxter building in my mind. You have the feel that a place that is to learn and excel, and it is a school after all. And then you have this place where it is a place where you can get away from all the worlds and their prejudices against you. To learn and find out what your place is in the world. While also kicking some butt in the danger room. All I can say is that if I could pick a school to go to, I would choose Xavier School for gifted youngsters. Well, as long as I didn't have a roommate with a farting mutant power. Then I'd be okay.
Oh, this is not so good. Hello, kitty.
Great, you're a lot of help.
5 more seconds and I win.
What just happened?
He happened.
Number 2.
Oh, now you guys have no idea what is number 1. Okay, but I digress. The Batcave is the coolest headquarters in the world of comics. It is a place that is just so fitting and perfect. It is a dark cave surrounded by hundreds upon hundreds of bats. But then it also houses some of the most advanced crime-fighting technologies known to man. And also, kind of like the fortress, it is a part museum. But unlike the fortress, it is mainly made for the sole purpose of fighting crime. Not to mention that there are a few things in there that no matter how silly they seem, they are just part of the cave. And they will always be, like the giant penny and the robotic dinosaur.
Hey, that's a giant dinosaur. And I thought Batman was the detective.
Why are they there? I don't know. But I wouldn't ever dare take those out of the cave. Never. No matter how silly they seem, I wouldn't take them out of there for my life because they just add to it. I don't know what they add, but they do just add to it. And it's odd because for a place that's supposed to be a secret cave, there seems to be a lot of battles in it. I mean, there's Hush's fight in it, Two-Face's fight in it, and of course Bane's attack on Batman in it. And even in the DC animated universe, there have been at least 5 fights in the Batcave. Twice on Batman the Animated Series, twice in Justice League, and once in Batman Beyond.
Tails, I win. Your weapons are pitiful.
Wait for it.
It is home to some of the most iconic images in comic books. I love the shots where Batman's just like at this high-tech computer trying to solve his next mystery, and you get shots of bats flying all around him. I guess I should mention Wayne Manor that is above the cave, but I mean, come on. We don't really care much about Wayne Manor. I mean, if we were given a tour of the Batcave or the Wayne Manor, we'd be like, oh yeah, that's nice. Can I see the Batcave now? The Batcave, home to Batman, Robin, Alfred, the Batmobile, the giant penny, a robotic T-Rex, the Robin Hood of Jason Todd. But all in all, it is the place where the world's greatest detective can solve some of the greatest mysteries, and that is why it's number 2.
Masks, gloves, no way they can be identified. A tattoo.
So how can I top the Batcave? I mean, really, what place in all of comic books can be better than the lair of the Dark Knight? Oh, how can anything be better? Well, let's see if you can guess what my number 1 is going to be. So, here we go to the number 1 comic book location in the comic book world. And the number 1 comic book location is... Okay, now when it comes to comic books, there has never been one location that has had as many stories written about it as Arkham Asylum. I mean, really. I mean, there are many stories written just about the Asylum. Of course, the most famous one being Grant Morrison's book of the same name, Arkham Asylum. But there have been so many others just written about this one location. Arkham seems to have this dark soul beneath it, beneath the brick and stone that just makes you feel uneasy. And of course, there are the new Arkham Asylum video games. Now, can any of these other comic book locations that I've listed off had entire games based just around that one location? No. And that is something that puts this way higher than all of those. I'm not saying that it's only at number 1 because of the video games, but I'm saying it kind of helps.
It's all right, my darlings. I mean now, my poor darlings. Yes, I know he's found us, but I won't let him hurt you. I'll kill him first.
Ivy, I know Dr. Young mutated these plants to produce venom.
Yes, and I heard it through the grapevine the evil woman paid the price.
I need you to help me create an antidote.
Why should I? Let Joker have his fun. I'll enjoy watching you squirm.
You've been in the dark too long. Every plant on this island will get the same unless you cooperate.
Arkham is also interesting because if you look at Batman's Rogues Gallery, they aren't really too different from Batman. The only thing is, something tragic has happened and they go off this way and he goes up this way. You know, something just sets him off and he goes to this extreme and they go to this extreme. So in Batman's mind, even though he's bringing these criminals to this place and he's putting them under lock and key, one of his worst fears is that he belongs in this place, that he belongs in the asylum, because he walks on the edge of insanity every night. And if he ever went over the edge, then Arkham would become his true home. It's strange how it works, because most villains, when they put the villain in jail, wherever their jail is, it's a moment of relief. Oh, finally, he's put away. But in Batman's case, it's so much different and more interesting. For Batman it is, if I am not careful, this place could be where I belong as well. It is a grim reminder of the path that he walks every day and what it could lead to if he ever went too far. It does bring up a few questions why Batman's villains all one way or another end up in an asylum where most other superheroes' villains end up in a jail. Why do Batman's villains all seem to end up insane? And if you think about it, Arkham Asylum has kind of made more people insane than it has actually cured. I mean, Harley Quinn, Lock Up, The Great White Shark, just to name a few, have all really been created because of their time that they spent at Arkham Asylum. And from what I understand of Arkham Asylum, I don't think they have ever successfully cured a single patient. At the very least, none of the extreme patients. So, it brings up the question, is bringing them to Arkham almost causing more harm than it is good? I mean, it is a place where the insane menace of Gotham have to say, but is it right? Is it safe? Does it make things worse? Or is it only because of the criminals who stay there that make the place the almost living hellhole that it is? I don't know. But one thing I do know is that as long as there is a Batman, there will be an Arkham Asylum for Batman to send Gotham City's greatest terror. Would I like to visit Arkham Asylum? No, not really. Maybe I could view it through a telescope from afar, because I would not want to spend 10 minutes in that building if I want to hang on to my sanity. But in my mind, this gothic structure that lightning seems to always flash over its sign is the most iconic and greatest comic book location ever.
There's beautiful Demeter, goddess of the harvest. And double-faced Janus, lord of beginnings and endings. And merry Hermes, the trickster of the gods. Now at last, mighty Zeus is home.
thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed my list, and I hope you like my number 1 pick because got something special coming up soon. Yeah, so remember, I'm LaserDude99, and if I don't like it, it's not worth it. See you around.
Joker here! I'm in control of Arkham Island, and you can all consider it out of bounds. If I see any lawmen, vigilantes, or do-gooders in tights coming this way, I'll start detonating random bombs around the city.
Be sure to check out my other videos on my channel, and check out Arkham Week when it starts on December 11th, or around there.